Hello guys, good morning and welcome back to vlog week day 3. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so you can get notified when the next vlog goes up. It is about 10:30 now. I've been trying to start these earlier in the morning, but I just had the strangest morning. Like, I woke up starving. Like, I can't even describe to you. I usually wake up with an appetite, okay, so that's not new, but I was like to the point where, you know, when you're really hungry, you start getting shaky, like you're really hot, you feel like you might throw up. And that was really weird because I typically don't wake up like that. I also feel like I slept fine, so I don't know why, like the minute my eyes opened, I was feeling like that. But I was so hungry that I took Poppy out, and then like with Poppy, I walked to a coffee shop around the block from me and picked up a breakfast sandwich and started eating the breakfast sandwich on the way home. Like, that's how hungry I was. I legitimately thought I was gonna pass out on the way to the shop. Thankfully I didn't. I got my sandwich. Definitely feeling a little better, but I'm still just like foggy. I don't know, it's really weird. Like, I don't feel hungry anymore, but I still feel like slightly shaky, just like really foggy. I haven't started my steps for the day yet. You guys know usually I try and knock out a good bit of my steps in the morning, but it's 10:30 and I still haven't even brought out my walking pad because I just like, I don't know, I just don't feel right. It's really weird. I'm hoping it'll go away. I'm hoping it was just like a fluke or whatever, and as the day goes on, I start to feel better. But I've just been online. I actually just was talking with Henry. This year is like a big travel year for me. Like, I am traveling at least once a month this entire year. So June was the only month that I didn't have anything planned for travel, which I'm very grateful for because I'm moving in June. So travel would have been chaotic, but come July, I'm literally in Memphis for like 8 days. Because at the beginning of July, I have a bachelorette trip. I come back and then I go to the lake with Henry's family. I come back from that. 2 days later, I go to Seattle for work. Okay, that's just a lie. Then in August, we've got 2 weddings, the last 2 weekends in August. Then Henry and I are trying to figure out if we can swing a trip to Connecticut to see some of his family. The first week in September, we come back from that trip. We have 1 weekend, then we're at the beach for a week for a wedding. We come back from that, you guys, this is crazy. Come back from the beach, I'm looking at the calendar right now. We come back from the beach, we have a week. We have like a week and a half, and then we go to Denver for another wedding, and we're making like a trip out of that Denver wedding. So we're probably gonna stay the week after. And then 2 weeks from then, there is another wedding, which we haven't decided if we can go to or not, because honestly, I'm starting to get overwhelmed with the amount of travel. I'm trying to remind myself that I am fortunate. I get to have all these opportunities to travel, and it is so great. Like, I always have so much fun. I've had so much fun on all the travel I've done this year so far. I know the second half of this year is going to be just as great, if not better. And I'm just trying to remind myself of all the positives because it's very easy for me to get stressed out when it comes to traveling. I also just cannot believe it's only Wednesday. I feel like this week has just dragged on. This week has been so busy and I'm already just like so tired. But I guess it's just one of those weeks. Today is a lighter day. I still have a couple of meetings, but they don't start until after lunch, so that's good. I will probably be working like right up until 5 or 5:30. But no later than that because I have plans to play tennis with my girlfriends at 6. So we will be working until that. 20 minutes left in my lunch break because I really didn't have to do anything for lunch since I had my factor meal, which was so good, by the way. I think just eating that made me feel a lot better. I'm still not feeling 100%, so I don't know if I'm gonna walk this afternoon or not, but I'm definitely feeling better. I just like can't shake this weird fuzzy feeling. I don't know. Anyway, since I have a little time left, I'm gonna make some of my favorite. This is just, it's like a bagged mix and you just add eggs, milk, and oil. Got our eggs. Instead of regular milk, I like to use the Core Power chocolate milk just to add a little more protein, and I feel like it makes the muffin like fudgier, if that makes sense. Okay, we need oil. I'm just using avocado oil. Preheat oven to 375. Pro tip is to get yourself a silicone muffin pan and just put it on a pan. That way once the muffins are done, you can just like push them out with the silicone. You don't have to use liners or anything. At least that's what I've found. I usually spray the liner with a little avocado oil too, just to make sure nothing sticks. I'm so glad I found these. I got them on Thrive Market one time and they're just so good. I really like them for like when I make my coffee in the afternoon. If I'm making my coffee after lunch, I like to make a protein coffee and eat one of these, and it's just so good and it's added protein. I think two muffins has 14 grams of protein. That's great. If you haven't caught on, I've just been definitely trying to prioritize protein a little more than I used to. It's really hard to hit protein goals. I feel like I should be eating around like 100 to 130 grams a day. And I started tracking my protein. I'm not tracking calories or anything, just my protein. And I'm like barely hitting 80 a day. So I've definitely been trying to find some ways to incorporate it in these muffins, make that really easy. Also my protein coffee, which I show a gajillion times because I use these as creamers. That has made things a lot easier. Yeah, there's no, I mean, I don't want to say I'm like on a weight loss journey or anything, but there are some health incentives for me to incorporate more protein in my diet. I've been kind of on like a health and wellness journey this past year, and I haven't really talked about it because honestly, I feel like I am still lacking answers about certain things. Whisk all the mix together, whisk the mix. As I was saying, yeah, this year there's just been like I've just had a lot of health issues, honestly my entire life, but lately I've just been like trying to get answers, and it's just been really frustrating. I have not had like the most supportive medical experience. For example, I am like 90% sure I have PCOS, and I didn't realize what this was until like last October. I went to my OBGYN for my annual, and I told her like I was really struggling with my energy levels. I'd been dealing with like a lot of brain fog. I had some unexplained weight gain. And to preface, 3 years before that, I got diagnosed with IBS. And ever since I got diagnosed with IBS, I am like very careful about what I eat and what I put into my body. I am human. I eat junk food sometimes, but like I'm pretty careful and I eat a pretty balanced diet. And I try and fill in those nutrition gaps. So it just didn't make sense to me that I gained 20 pounds since like actively switching to a better diet, and just like overall I was more fit than I had been in the past. And so I was telling her how I was, you know, struggling with my weight gain. I was trying to not like actively lose it, but kind of. I don't like talking about weight loss. I know it can be triggering for some people, and it's triggering for me sometimes too. But also the energy levels was a big thing for me. My brain fog, just like I wasn't where I wanted to be, and it just didn't make sense. So my OBGYN was like, you need to go talk to a PCP, because honestly, I hadn't gone to a primary care physician in like years. Like, my medical visit was my OBGYN every year to get my birth control, and I was just like, all right, if everything's normal, we're good. But so I went to my PCP. That was in, I want to say like February or March, maybe April, I can't remember. And I was like originally very encouraged by my visit with my PCP, because I was like, something's wrong. She's like, yeah, something definitely sounds out of balance. Like, we're going to figure out what it is. And then she kind of just like ghosted me. Like, my blood work came back and she sent me an email, and she said she was going to call and like we were going to go through it. But she just sent me an email and basically was like, your vitamin D is low, some hormones were out of balance, and you need to tighten up your diet because your cholesterol was high. And it didn't really make sense to me, because I eat very well. Like, I definitely try and stay away from like high fat foods, very salty foods, just because those are not good for my digestive system. So it was just kind of disheartening. But she told me to go back to my OBGYN for my hormone imbalance. I go back to my OBGYN that I've been seeing since I was like a sophomore in high school. And she was not very supportive. She was kind of honestly, not even kind of, she was very dismissive. I left the appointment crying. Basically, she said, like, because I'm on birth control, all of this makes sense. And it just really didn't sit right with me. We also went through like a bunch of unnecessary tests and ultrasounds for her to be like, actually, everything's normal. So I started doing my own research, and one thing my OBGYN said is, she was like, your symptoms sound like PCOS, but you don't look PCOS. And I was like, what does that mean? And she was explaining some other stuff to me. Like, I was trying to get information out of her, and she just acted like I was inconveniencing her. But then she also said that the birth control I am on, she typically prescribes for people with PCOS. And I was like, well, why did you prescribe it to me in the beginning? I've been on the same birth control since I was in high school. And she was like, well, like what you were saying about your periods and stuff. And I was like, and she like wasn't answering me in the fact that like, if I came to you in high school and you thought I had PCOS and you put me on this birth control, why don't you think I have it now? I don't know. It was a really frustrating visit, because I was like, I don't even care if I don't have PCOS. I just need you to tell me like what is wrong with me, like why my hormones are so out of whack, and like why I'm dealing with all this. And she just like, she didn't really help me. Which was kind of frustrating. So I just have been kind of pessimistic about just like healthcare in general lately. If you can't see what I'm doing, I'm gonna put the batter in the muffin tin now. But I don't know, it's just been very frustrating. So I've been trying to do things that I think will make me feel better. None of this is medical advice. I honestly don't know what I'm doing, but there are some things that have been helping, and I've just been kind of trying to incorporate stuff like it's PCOS, because everyone I talk to, like a bunch of my friends are in the medical professions too. They're like, it sounds like you have PCOS. And one thing I learned too is PCOS is on a spectrum. Like, you don't have to hit every symptom to like be diagnosed. Like, a lot of my friends were telling me that just because one of my hormones came back like really high, they were like, that is a telltale sign of PCOS. And that combined with like vitamin D deficiency is a telltale sign. So once again, none of this is medical advice. I'm not saying if you have symptoms like me, you have PCOS, but it's one of the things I'm thinking I might have. And some people have recommended I go to an endocrinologist, and honestly, I'm trying not to be, and I'm working myself out of it, but I'm just still extremely pessimistic about going to doctors, because I've spent so much money just on these last couple of doctor's visits, only for everybody to tell me either go see a different doctor or everything's normal. So I'm just not interested in spending more money for somebody to tell me the same thing. So there's just things I've been trying to do myself that I think are going to help. And one of those is eating more protein. I've incorporated some different supplements in my diet. And I'm trying to be patient with it, because from what I've read, sometimes it just takes a while for these supplements or these changes to kind of like take effect in your body. All that to say is, I like to be real with you guys, and that's just what I'm going through right now. And sometimes talking about it makes me feel better, so that's what I did. I'm gonna finish scooping this mix into this muffin pan and then put them in the oven. I think I forgot to say it earlier, but today is actually my official like 1 year anniversary at my current job, which is so crazy to me because in some ways I feel like I'm in a rhythm, like I know what I'm doing, and in other ways I still feel like so new and I have no idea what I'm doing. But it's just crazy to me that it's already been a year. If you aren't familiar with how I ended up at this job, I used to work at another major retailer and I was part of like a 10% total workforce layoff. So I got laid off from that job. However, I had already started looking while I was at that current company because one, I knew more layoffs were coming and I just wanted to have like a plan B. And two, I just kind of was feeling stuck at that current job. So I'd already been looking. And actually, like, weirdly enough, this is just like, this in my way is how I knew it was meant to be. I applied for this current job a week before I was laid off. I didn't know I was getting laid off when I applied for it, but I applied a week before. Turns out, obviously, I got it, and I'm so thankful to be here, and I'm so grateful I found my way here. But this is just a testament that this is my like fourth job post-grad. I graduated in 2019 and I worked my first corporate job after that, and then I quit in August of 2020 to do grad school. And after that, I had another job before the previous major retailer, then the major retailer, and now this. So all to say is you don't always get your dream job, your first job out of college. If you do, you are so lucky, and I'm so happy for you, but it doesn't always happen. Also, your dream job out of college might not be your dream job 5 years later. What I'm doing now is not what I went to school for. I work in digital customer analytics. My undergrad degree was in supply chain management and Spanish, okay? After that first job, I realized I liked more of like the supply chain analytics side. So I went back to grad school. I got my master's in analytics, and that transferred to retail analytics, which is what I did at my first job, my first retail job. And then from there, I like gained some skills around customer programming and customer analytics. And that's how I landed this job. And I love this job so much. I say it's my dream job, and it is for now, but honestly, 5 years from now, I might be interested in something different or something adjacent to this. I'm saying that all to say, I know a lot of us like put pressure on ourselves to like find the best job or like feel 100% fulfilled in your job. And I just don't think that's realistic, and that puts a lot of unnecessary pressure on us. If you are lucky, you get to enjoy your job and you feel extremely fulfilled like I do. But I am not like waking up every day like, yay, I can't wait to work, or like, yay, I have 5 meetings today. That's not realistic. I would say this is my favorite job I've ever had. I'm definitely more enthusiastic about it than I have in the past. I get more sense of pride than any other job, but I just think it's unrealistic, and it's really hard to put that much pressure on a role that really should just serve as a means of living. Like, it should support the way you want to live, and it should help you learn and help you grow. Hello guys, it is later and I'm starting to wind down and get ready for bed. Honestly, I've had a rough end to the day / night. Nothing major happened. I just think it's one of those weeks where a bunch of small things are adding up, and like the last thing just kind of made everything crumble. So haven't been in the best headspace, but I did talk to my friend Molly earlier this evening, and she made me feel a lot better. Talking to Molly always makes me feel better. I know she's watching this too, so Molly, I love you. I miss you. Long distance friendships are so hard. If you're struggling with them too, I see you, I feel you. I struggle with having multiple long distance friendships, and it never gets easier, but there are some things Molly and I have been doing that kind of make it a little more fun. One, we always send each other voice messages. It's just sometimes better to hear their voice instead of reading a text. I know texting is easier sometimes. Sometimes you can't schedule time to call or FaceTime, but a voice message, you can still hear their voice and you can listen when you're available. And also, we've done this for 2 or 3 weeks now. I saw it on Instagram. We've been sending each other weekly photo dumps. So we just like on Sundays, we've just been sending each other pictures that we took throughout the week about just like highlights of our week. And it's been so fun. I feel like sometimes I'm horrible about when somebody's like, how's your week been going? Like, what have you been up to? I'm like, I don't know what to say. Sometimes I forget what I've done, but it's been fun, like sharing pictures and like I can see what she's doing and I can be like her and her husband went and tried Korean barbecue last week and I got to talk to her about that and she got to talk to me about the pictures that I sent, and it's just fun doing little things to stay connected. And I realized I promised in the first vlog that I was going to show you guys how I do like my heatless curls. I call it lazy heatless curls because like I don't use like a piece of fabric or a rod or anything. So I thought I would show you guys tonight. First thing I do is I don't like fully comb through my hair, but I will get like the big knots out and you'll see why in a second. Also, this works if you want like tighter curls. The results, like they're tighter curls, which works for me because I do it on my natural curly hair, so like it kind of matches my curl pattern. But if you want like looser waves, maybe don't do this. But the first thing I do is I just wet my hair a little bit. I'm not sopping wet. I just like am getting it a little wet. I just find that if it's a teeny tiny wet, it just tends to hold the curl a little better. Just kind of combing through, making sure I get all the big knots out because it's going to be a lot harder to separate the hair in a second if it's knotty. I split my hair into 2 sections. Just gonna tie off one side, and this is so easy. It's why I call it lazy. Is like I'm gonna do this and you're gonna be like, Payton, that's it, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, that's it. All I do is wrap my hair around the other. Okay, so I've got 2 sections. I just take the front section over the back, grab some hair, and twist. So I'm grabbing hair with the front section and I'm twisting, and as I'm twisting I'm like kind of working towards the back of the hair, because if you don't start like pointing it to the back, the curl will just be like all right here and then it'll look weird when you take it out. So make sure like as you're wrapping, you're kind of like French braiding it in a way. Like make sure you're working towards the back of your head and you're not just going down the side of your head. You see what I'm doing? And it doesn't have to be perfect, especially if you're doing this on naturally curly hair. Like you can see I've got like some bumps. It's really not a big deal. This just helps. It's also like gonna get a little messy when you sleep anyways. The other important thing is like make sure it's pulled taut, but like don't pull it super tight, because if you pull it too tight, once you wrap these bottom pieces, it'll unravel and then like the curl won't match like the top. Like it'll be tighter up here than it is down there. So make sure you're just like holding the same tension throughout the thing. You'll see this will unravel a little bit. It's not a big deal if it unravels a little bit, but okay, watch. See how I like kind of twisted out a little bit? If I was pulling it like really tight, it would have unraveled a ton and then there would be like nothing holding it. So I will do it one more time on this side for you guys, and I'll try and look this way so you can see like the whole time what I'm doing, because I know it's kind of hard to see from that angle. Okay, so we're gonna take 2 pieces. These are like the size of my curls when my hair is naturally curly, so like I'm trying to follow that. All right, I've got my 2 pieces. Twist over, okay? Grab a little bit of hair with the front section. Twist over, we're working backwards. Grab a little hair with the front section. Twist over, grab a little hair. Twist over, all the time working towards the back, like you're French braiding. You don't want your braid down the side of your head, you want it in the back. and we're just working. Sorry, I'll go this way so you can see. Make sure you're not pulling it too tight. And then once you get to like you're not on your scalp anymore, just twist. Looks like I left a piece of hair out. I'm really not that concerned about it because that piece of hair would have probably fallen out. And then you just go to sleep. I sleep on my back, so like this is really comfortable for me. I don't know if this is comfortable if you sleep on your side. Might be a judgment call, but this is just what I do. I go to bed and I wake up in the morning and we've got some pretty curls. It doesn't turn out perfect every time. I've learned with curly hair, nothing is ever going to turn out the same no matter if you do the exact same stuff. So I've learned to deal with that, but this is just an easy way. Get some curls in your hair while you sleep. Also, I've noticed just like there's less frizz when I wrap my hair this way because it's not like rustling up against the pillowcase. But yeah, that is my lazy heatless curls routine. With that, I've had a long day, so I think I'm going to wrap up the vlog here. I'm going to go put on my favorite jammies and put something on the TV that makes me happy, and then I am going to go to bed. So I hope you guys enjoyed vlog week day 3. Don't forget to subscribe and check in tomorrow for vlog week day 4. Bye guys.